Okay then, welcometh back, and, oh, Jacklord, do you have a final list for us?
Well, I'm currently checking out that list right now.
Excellent.
So he's thinking about it.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna tell them the joke, Demi. I'm not gonna demify it with a retelling. Kraft is saying that
So we'll
Jackalor
wait
got
for him.
Auspex, Dominate, and Thaumaturgy. He's a Tremere.
We'll wait for him to decide how he wants to do that.
I mean, as far as divine spells, I get one extra first level spell because I have 17 charisma.
Good job.
And that's
Wait,
about
isn't
it.
Divine based on Wisdom, not Charisma?
No, not charisma, wisdom, yes, sorry.
It should have been wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah,
wisdom.
Jackalor says something, I'm just like, he's like, wait, bullshit senses tingling.
Yes. But yeah, I have enough wisdom to have an extra first level spell.
Yep, good. So you get a bonus there then.
And I picked up Detect Magic, Light, and Guidance.
Guidance is pretty good. Let's see.
Those are cantrips.
Well, before we
Yes,
get over to
cantrips.
that, we will go over what you can actually do.
Oh
You
yeah.
get spells. We'll go over those in a moment. We went over your domain. Your deity is Weejoss, which now two of you, the paladin and the cleric, are Weejoss.
Yeah. And you don't really need detect magic. I have it like on an infinite amount.
Wait, you do?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh.
Because it's Weejoss and I'm already homebrewing a bit, I said that it makes more sense for him to have detect magic than detect chaos.
Yep.
Well done. I'll prepare 2 guidance.
Do I need to
So,
keep Detect Magic then? I could switch that out,
up to
something more
you.
useful.
I identify.
Unlike vampire and stuff, metagaming in D&D is more accepted.
Yeah.
None of us would ever metagame, right, Demi? Because that would be wrong.
God damn it, Demi.
Don't
God
care.
damn it, Demi.
Did we ban Demi from the campaign? We haven't gotten to him yet.
I agree with this.
I have no issue with this. He
Whatever.
can make
So-
people the more he wants.
The big thing about clerics is that they have spontaneous casting. Just so everyone knows, I am totally aware Weejoss usually only allows inflict spells, despite being a neutral god. I have totally just said, screw that. If he wants to, he can choose the cure spells as long as he's also neutral. So,
Yeah.
So he
And
can
spontaneous
only...
casting.
So I'm assuming his conversion thing is for one type of spells, either cure or inflict.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep. He
it's
can only
permanent.
choose one or the other. He told me he would choose cure. Verify
Yes.
this, Jack. He hasn't verified it. Okay.
Inflict it is!
What? Curing?
I said to verify it for the audience. You didn't verify it. Obviously, you are now doing inflict spells all the time.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Rip!
Rip. Rip. I'm gonna have to kill my own cleric. God fucking damn it.
Wait, what?
Why would you need to kill him?
I thought you said cure?
I did say that. I said you should verify it for the audience, and you were silent. So apparently, it's not verified. Yep,
What?
just gotta go
I
back
said
with the
yes
original rule.
twice.
No, you were muted. I didn't hear shit, Jack.
I could have sworn I said yes twice.
No.
No one heard you.
No one
Oh my
heard
god,
you.
I hate myself.
I'm just kidding. It's all right.
I mean, I didn't hear him, so I'm not lying.
So we have someone who has light as well, because Jacklor picked that as well.
Yes.
Let me
But yeah,
just...
spontaneous casting is he can transform any of his regular spells, not his domain spells, but any of his regular spells into a cure spell of equal level. Just so you know how that works, okay?
Yep.
And I have allowed him so he can take cure spells instead of inflict, despite worshipping Ouijas.
Hmm?
Besides that, as a cleric, he also gets another ability. It's called Turn or Rebuke. It's semi-complicated, but basically he makes a roll, adds his level and such to it, and
Charisma modifier.
depending how well he does, he can either make Endud flee in terror or outright destroy them, or do nothing. It depends. He has to keep worshiping his god and don't act in ways that generally oppose the god's alignment or purposes. If you end up violating the code of your god too much, you lose all your spells and class features.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it was
Yep.
pretty harsh. Not as harsh as the paladin in some ways, but about the same.
Yeah.
So besides that, I suppose we'll go down and check out the spell lists and then check out feats if you want to go through those real quick. So,
Sure.
through the cleric spells, you took guidance.
Twice.
Let's see. Your divine magic. You only need to select it once, if I remember right.
Yeah, but I have 3 slots, so I can pick it up twice, right?
Oh yeah, that's how I forgot for a moment how clerics do shit. So here's another difference between clerics and other casters. He gets to decide. He still has only so many spells, and he has to assign them in a certain way. So he can only have if he has 3 slots for 0 spells, he has to choose. Oh, I'll do create water, light, or read magic. But unlike a sorcerer who just keeps it for all time, or a wizard who only has so many, clerics and paladins once per day just get to select any from their available spell lists.
Yep. Because
Yeah.
why not?
So you're gonna
It comes
keep...
from our god. Comes from our god. It doesn't matter.
So you're gonna
what
keep
we know.
light on tap, right? In case we need it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cantrip. There's not much I can put there except for light and other stuff.
Well,
Yep.
I picked days for the cantrip that freed up to detect magic, so that should be useful then.
Yeah.
Kind
Yep.
of.
It is just good. It is something to note that cleric, if you need him to have a different spell, will just need to go to sleep. So
Yep.
Say
sleep on
night, dunk.
or more accurately, will need to go through his next period of
8-hour rest.
going through his rituals and stuff for an hour. Which, by the way, you need to select a time. What time do you take to basically worship Ouijas?
Like any time of the day, 24
You
hours.
have to choose one, but yes, it can be any time during the day or night.
Like, what's your normal time?
Probably in the morning.
In the morning, right after waking up?
Yeah.
All right. Then that will be the time in which your spells can be reshuffled.
So he can't reshuffle them on the fly like later editions? I think
Nope,
there was
not on
something
the
about
fly.
it. Okay.
It has to be when he's doing his ritual worshipping and shit. Just so you know, Draco, that doesn't exist.
Well then, didn't he have the time somewhere in there? Thing?
Yep.
Yeah,
He said the morning, which is completely fine. All right,
And from
and what
that
about the
day...
first level spells? What do you want to start with there for the
Well,
first time you're
command,
going
I
in?
was going to use the command domain spell from domination.
Yep, you already have command as a domain spell, so you just select that as what you have from your domains.
Yep, that's what I did. And I
What
will
about your
choose
two
bless
others?
and cause fear, I think.
Bless and cause fear. That is what you will get then.
what is the healing at?
He
I
gets healing automatically. There's not really a point in taking it.
Yeah. In theory, I could take up inflict because why the fuck not? But it's not as useful as healing or as useful as other spells.
I'm saying like healing spells.
So yeah, he has 2 spells per day that he can just switch over to cure light wounds. So that should help you guys out. Especially if you guys are about to go to sleep and he hasn't even used any of his spells yet.
Yep.
I'll just dump them, put them into your health pools.
Yep. It's a thing clerics do.
Problem is,
Wait,
then if
what?
we get woken
Then you
during
get
the
fucked
night...
because he has no spells.
Yeah,
Exactly.
maybe before going to bed, Jackalor is a better time to worship.
Yeah, I agree.
To be fair, Weejas is the goddess of death and shit, so you know, closer
Yeah.
to midnight makes sense.
Exactly.
I agree with this.
Yeah.
You know, almost no one realizes how good of an idea that is. I'm glad you pointed it out, Chris.
I mean, I knew it immediately, I just wasn't gonna say anything until the stupidity and became so obvious that I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I was gonna let him step into that.
All right. All right. So there was the spells. We went over domain. We need to go to feats. That's what we need to do now.
Yep.
So what were you thinking of so far with the character?
Extra turning is about all I've come.
I'm not even sure that's really good with you at the moment, unless you're planning for later, when the books start opening up.
Probably for later because I'm going to want that later.
Okay, I was just telling you now that it's not good at the moment.
Yeah, I know. It's not exactly. Can't get divine meta magic yet,
That's right.
which is sad. Because divine meta magic is
Okay.
OP as fuck.
Divine meta magic is OP as fuck. There's no denying this.
Extend
In fact,
magic
I
would be...
will. I suppose I should ask really quick. So there is technically a tree eventually opened up for people that can do turning, particularly clerics, because they get a whole shit ton of it. That allows them to give up turning attempts to increase their spells.
Mhm.
Huh. Interesting.
Do you guys are you guys all right with that being a thing, or
Eventually,
Uh,
yes, not to start with, because fuck him.
that's
Yeah.
why I said we're definitely not starting off with it, and why we're basically just limited to the core book here. But if you guys are all right with that being a thing, do note that he will eventually be able to empower his spells, maximize possibly shit like that, and it won't even make his spells go up in level. It'll just take away turning attempts.
Which I won't be using anyway. Probably.
It depends. Turning's really good in itself
Yeah.
against
Yeah,
undead.
it doesn't
Epic,
come up
how
very much.
good is extending spells?
For a cleric, really good.
Yep.
For a
For
sorcerer?
you, so expensive.
Also,
That's really my answer. It's so expensive for a sorcerer
Yeah,
and a
it
wizard.
really is. You need those spell slots for other things. Sadly.
Also, another interesting thought which occurs to me and I keep forgetting it is can we trade higher level spell slots away to cast lower level spells if we run out of
No,
appropriate levels?
no, nope, not how it works.
Hmm.
That's a wizard thing, I believe.
I think a feed eventually exists for it, but it's not a thing for anybody.
It is in 5th edition, but they say in 5th edition.
Nope, it's 3.5. So extend is probably one of the few ones I would say is possibly decent on a wizard or sorcerer, because it doubles duration and takes only one spell level higher. But it's still so expensive to do. I wouldn't blame anyone for taking it though. It's one of the
Yeah.
cheapest ones there is, and it's really effective. So
Yeah, that was another one that I was considering, but later.
yep,
When I have a few things
might be
that can
good later.
actually benefit from it.
I mean, technically, Greece would benefit. Well, no, you don't have level 2 yet. My bad. Yeah, nothing really benefits from it right now. Besides, the little buffs and stuff. So,
Well, it's 1 round per level, so
yep,
it would go up to 2 rounds
per level. Yep, that's correct.
if I had, level 2 slots. So I must be
Yep.
level, what, like 4 before I can use it on Greece. But it would work on days. I think this is
Yep,
something I
it
take
would
at
do that.
level 4 or whenever I get the feat.
Yeah,
Maybe.
all right. So you took extra turning, and I just wanted to give everyone a warning that that is considered one of the more OP feats, is divine meta magic.
Mm-hmm.
So if everyone's all right with that, eventually
Yeah.
that will probably open up. I
I
will
like
not
it as well.
guarantee it at level 4 or anything like that. It's just whenever everyone feels okay with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give it
Okay.
3 or 4 sessions, then we can start opening up other books, I think.
Okay. So he still has one other.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking besides
I have
divine meta
no
magic?
idea what to pick up.
No ideas?
Nope.
Um,
Well, I suppose really legit question is what do you want to be focusing on skills and such?
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
He has no idea.
Do his things provoke when he casts them?
Oh yeah, I could pick up combat casting.
I don't think they do. I'll have to
They-
double check real quick. Or at the very least, most of the times whenever I've seen a cleric use a spell, I don't recall it happening, but they also generally use spells before they enter combat, so could be misremembering.
I'll have to open them.
Is there any spot where I can see magical items?
Generally, that's in a Dungeon Master's Guide and such. Not really your guys' part. There are some minor magical items in here, but they're more utility and such.
I'm just wondering how costly are things like rings of protection, etc. Crap like that. You know, the things everyone always ends up wearing eventually.
I actually haven't met many people to use rings of protection.
I don't know. I might be thinking of Neverwinter Nights too. Or any number of other sources.
Might be.
Acquire spells. Instead, they meditate or pray for their spells. Already went over that. 1 hour each day. Time spent this way. Casting. I'm pretty sure it does. But I just don't remember it happening often.
Probably on
Let's see.
non-spontaneous one.
Oh,
Because most clerics don't cast spells in combat.
Casting
Well, what
spells
is-
should be on 169.
the magical effect. Attacks. All spells that the opponent resists with saving them to deal damage or realize harm. Attacks are attacks. Spells that summon monsters or their allies are not attacks because the spells themselves don't harm it.
It seems I can't find anything that says that it's not doesn't provoke.
Unimposed. Nope. 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 Creation check. Casting defensive, page 140. Cast a spell. All casting.
Provokes. Let's search for provokes.
Experience. Can't concentrate. Okay. Start casting a spell, but interferes. Ogre taking up to the club. Discard.
Okay.
Spells. To maintain a spell. If you cast a spell, you provoke attacks of opportunity from threatening enemies. If you take damage from an attack of opportunity, you must make a concentration check, DC 10 plus points of damage taken plus spell level, or lose the spell. Spells that require only a free action to cast, such as Featherfall or any quicken spell, don't provoke attacks of opportunity. So this just applies to all spells. Casting defensively means that you just make a concentration check, DC 15 plus spell level, and if you do that before casting a spell, you get to just cast the spell without provoking an attack of opportunity in the first place.
Yeah. It's just considered performing a distracting act, I think. And
Yep,
that just says
basically.
casting a spell.
No, I have the exact quotes and everything right here.
Okay, good.
So, yep. Doesn't matter who you are, casting a spell is dangerous in the threatened square.
Combat caster.
I mean, there's specific. If you get it off as a free action and such, it's no problem. The problem is, casting it otherwise.
Well, that's why Combat Caster is a good idea, because
Yep. Which actually brings up a quick question. Would you want to do Combat Caster? Jack, you around?
Whoops, I was muted.
Jesus fuck. Could you suck less, please? Ooh.
I did tell you guys this is going to take a while.
Maybe I
But
could
yeah,
get some scrolls.
I probably don't need Combat Caster because I probably won't be casting in melee.
You might
Generally,
be trying to
probably
heal us in the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
He can usually get away with that with a 5-foot step. We'll go over
Yeah.
that in a little bit, but can usually probably heal somebody without too much of an issue.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that
So,
gives you
yeah.
a bonus to my diplomacy checks?
You should have a
Yes.
what? Wisdom bonus
What?
to diplomacy.
Yeah. Or there's negotiator gives +2 bonus to diplomacy and sense motive.
Oh, you're talking about feats. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Wisdom bonus? Oh, that don't make no sense. The fuck?
Mm.
I mean, let's look around here.
It's
Things
negotiator.
that are generally good. How's your dexterity?
13.
+1? Not quite good on that one then. Flexes, dodge, endurance. Endurance might be good on you actually.
Endurance.
Endurance, it's way too good to not get.
I wouldn't say that, but it
Not
is
really.
really powerful.
Yeah, it's
It lets you sleep in anything less than heavy armor and just wake up in it without a problem.
yeah.
I'll probably pick endurance down.
Besides
On
that,
top-
it gives you a +4 bonus on all kinds of checks and saves. So
Yeah.
besides that,
Uh,
improved initiative. That's always good.
Yeah.
Or even improved turning. You have a lot of turn attempts. You can consider yourself a +1 level to your cleric.
Probably not.
All the turning. I
Uh,
mean,
There's a lot of things that are just generally good. The problem is that you know where you're going, but where you're going is not going to open up for a while.
yeah,
yeah.
sadly.
I mean,
If you even wanted, you could just be self-sufficient, gain more on the heal checks. Or actually, something that is always good is run.
I could pick up run, yeah.
Jackal or make fucking.
yeah. You have done it way. Ooh. Run 5 times normal speed. Nice.
Yep, run's always good.
Yeah.
I could always pick up run, yeah.
Improved initiative is always good. Endurance. I'd probably select one of those, to be honest.
So it's endurance or run IMO.
Run is good for getting somewhere. Endurance is good
Yeah.
for surprise attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you be doing when it's surprise attacks?
Jackalor, don't
That
be
would
a
be
little
too
bitch.
meta.
Okay.
If
I
you're
mean,
worried
It's
about
worth a
surprise
shot,
attacks,
yeah.
just fucking take it.
Yeah, like
Well,
if
that's
you
good.
want to be paranoid and be done with it.
Yeah, I'll just pick endurance then.
Okay, he has endurance. We have at least 2 people that can wake up, and they're both the cleric and the paladin. Oh, this is
Yeah.
interesting.
Of the same god.
It's almost as if they don't trust the rest of us.
To be fair, I would probably not trust the fucking cleric if he starts to do all the sneaky shit. I expect everyone else to do it except the fucking cleric, if he does it as well.
I'm
You
roughly
are
neutral, I
always a
won't be doing something.
paranoid, inconsistent. Just
Yeah,
switch
I
your
am.
alignment to chaotic neutral and be done with it, you little bitch.
What?
Whatever. All right, we're done with Jack. Who's next?
Yay.
I nominate Demi.
Demi has been
just
nominated.
just finish
I
with your
nominate
semi-caster. Me and Demi are quick.
I mean, there is no other
We
caster.
we need a break from casters. I think I certainly do.
I was spacing half
Make
the
that
time, so I'm fine.
Yeah, I was doing the
Well, I hope
same.
not. I'm hoping you guys
I-
understand more or less what your compatriots are able to do.
I mean,
Although I
Bacon
understand it's a lot.
Something
Bacon is a
something
barbarian.
magic, something something heals. That's about what I
Yeah.
got.
Bacon is a barbarian. I have no issue with him not knowing for the most part. It makes sense.
So Demi has guests over and can't really talk, but he's listening.
I mean,
Bacon?
we could always just take a short break.
Now is
Yeah.
not a good time for it. I think.
Yeah,
in
another
terms of-
hour at least before we do the break, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
not quite, but we're kind of in the middle, so we could do Bacon, and then we might be more or less at an appropriate moment to make it even
Okay.
with the previous video.
All right then. We'll go on to Bacon, who is a half orc and a barbarian.
As long as he remembers to protect his squishy body that saved him from horrible slavery.
Yep.
He was going to escape anyways.
Well,
So barbarians get a couple of downsides and a couple big upsides. I already went over half orcs. Barbarians are really good with half orcs. Pretty expected. They're proficient with all simple and martial weapons, light armor, medium armor, and shields. Not heavy armor. You can't wear that shit generally. They start off with fast movement. They have a plus 10 feet on their movement range at all times. This applies as long as they are wearing no armor, light armor, or medium armor, and not carrying a heavy load. As long as you as long as he's wearing only up to light armor, he moves at 40 feet. A medium, 30 feet. They are illiterate. They can spend 2 skill points to become literate. Most don't bother because it makes skill points odd. But
We need to read. It's useless.
exactly. Besides that, they have the ability to fall into a rage. They do this starting off just once per day. He gains temporarily 4 strength, 4 constitution, and a +2 morale bonus on will saves. And he takes a penalty of -2 to his armor class. He does gain the 2 points per level from his constitution from this bonus. But they go away at the end of rage when his constitution score drops back to normal. Yeah, let's see. They are not lost first, the way temporary hit points are. So he has to be somewhat careful, otherwise he could end up possibly dying.
What a
By
magnificent
accident.
piece of livestock.
Generally, it's not too big of an issue, especially with a cleric. But he can technically basically fight longer than most people, but the moment his rage ends, it could end up horrible. While raging, cannot use most of his shit. Except, fighting shit.
I smash.
Yeah, he just smashes stuff in a rage, so...
So, wait, it essentially tracks how much damage he has taken, not how many hit points he has left. The way it ends up working.
More or less, yes. At the end of it. So he does have to be a little careful.
I think I need to buy a couple of healing potions because I have a feeling this might have happened before and I kind of need to keep him.
Nah,
Up to
endurance
you.
into that.
And also, yes, Jack, it would not be the first time that a barbarian ended his rage and then got told he just fell down dead.
I'm sure Bacon won't forget.
No,
Surely not.
I'm
mean-
expecting to die this way.
So it lasts for a number of rounds equal to 3 plus the character's constitution modifier. I think yours is pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 3.
So you have 6 rounds. Usually more than enough for most combat encounters. May permanently end it, and at the end of the rage, the barbarian loses rage modifiers and restrictions and becomes fatigued for the duration of the current encounter. This is meant for an all or nothing kind of deal. You rage, you better hope you kill it, otherwise things are about to get bad for you because you become fatigued for a little while. Which is -2 penalty to strength and -2 to penalty to dexterity, and you can't charge or run anymore. So, yeah.
Just
You can
hobble
do it.
away. I'll just...
Yep.
Well,
So, that's the primary thing he gets. He'll get more stuff as he levels up. At the current moment, that's all he does, though. He's really fast, and he rages once per day.
barbarians.
He will gain Uncanny Dodge the next level, gain more rages at 4. He gains Trap Sense. He has full Bab, which is +1 Bab every level, and he focuses on Fortitude saves, so +2 to fort.
I have a feeling barbarians were made for those nerds who have no self-control, tend to rage out, so they could think that it was somehow, a powerful, awesome thing, and not them just big little bitches.
Makes sense.
All right. So what feats did you decide to go with?
Power attack.
Power attack. I could never blame you for taking that.
So
What's
good.
next? Cleave?
Yes.
I knew it.
How much coke did those ideas take, Bacon? Be honest now. How long did it take and how much drugs did you go through?
I was pretty sober at the time.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
shows. It's not as creative as your usual stuff.
All right. That's all we had to do with Bacon.
Yeah.
Maybe we can
It's good.
squeeze in steel as well then.
All right. Steel is becoming a paladin. That in
Yay.
which smites evil. I'm just kidding. He's not evil. We have homebrewed his stuff so that he's workable with a fairly evil party. We allowed him to take Weejoss and changed up his general abilities. We switched most of the evil. We basically just switched good and evil with law and chaos, with the exception of his detect ability.
Yep.
That has been switched to detect magic instead of detect chaos.
I can smite it, I cannot detect it.
That is correct. By the way, I did particularly make this because these are fairly powerful things to change up. Your smite will activate when you say it does, and it will be wasted if it didn't do anything.
Yes. I know.
So you're just going to have to take an educated guess.
Yeah.
Hint, if it's speaking abyssal at you and cursing the gods of light, might be a good time to try a smite, just in case.
I mean,
Yes.
I will respond back in abyssal to it and say, go back to the abyss with thee and smite it. But
You can do that, but if you ever do that for real, we're gonna have to euthanize you.
no, I'm just going to say to the abyss with thee and smite it.
Yes,
In
So, that was
exactly
just so
for
the
that
audience-
line.
That was so the audience could understand, parts of this are kind of homebrewed.
Yeah.
Also, so instead of an aura of good, he has an aura of law, just like cleric. He has detect magic instead of detect evil. He has smite chaos once per day. Works the same otherwise. That's currently all he really particularly has. He gains more stuff as he levels up, especially these next 5 levels or so. Yeah, he'll gain a lot of stuff through there. But for now, that's more or less what he has. He just has smite, and that's more or less it at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, at level 3, I start to get up to steam with a lot of shit.
Yep. Yours will take a little bit of time to actually really get going, but detect magic makes you really good regardless. So,
Yeah. I mean,
and you have proficiency with all your stuff, which is
mhm.
all the stuff basically like a fighter.
Yep.
You know, armor, all the types of armor, all simple and martial weapons, all shields except tower shields. Yep.
Mhm.
Suppose we should just describe what smite does then. So smite is that once per day he can try and smite chaotic beings with a normal melee attack. He adds his charisma bonus to the attack roll and deals 1 extra point of damage per paladin level. So at the moment, not the greatest. It becomes pretty dope pretty quick. Again, about level 3, it really becomes obvious. The
I
main
know.
thing right now is that if he smites something and it works, he gains a +5 to hit.
Oh my
Technically a 1
fucking
to
god.
damage, but 1 to damage, whatever.
I'm just imagining a situation where there's a paladin of good and he's facing off against steel and it's like, these people have helped me banish many great threats while me and Bacon cower behind.
I can see that happening, yes.
I mean, I'm lawful and neutral.
You don't even necessarily know that I'm chaotic, which I'm greatly thankful for.
It was part of why I decided making detect magic the thing instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I figured some people might choose chaotic.
Yeah. I will leave Jack into doing it and trying to convince me that they are chaotic.
Hey,
Yep.
I'm neutral, okay? Just evil.
No. You are a big guy. We will test it. I will use smite on you. It will hurt, but it shouldn't hurt too much. All right.
I think my response
Shouldn't
to
hurt
you
too much.
trying to stab my buddy is to grease your weapon.
I mean, I can use smite, I believe, with any melee or range, so I can literally just use it with a stick.
It's normal melee attack.
So when you hurt your half-orc to test that is when he enters rage and kills you.
I mean, if I try to test it in that manner, probably just do it with a punch or something.
I would say the orc is justified in a paladin trying to smite him.
Yeah. I mean, I will make sure if he's chaotic, it will work. If not, then it wouldn't.
I think my character doesn't think in those terms. He thinks in terms of, do I need to kill you right now? You would move to the top, to a top score on
I
that
mean,
if
that's
you
up
are
to
hurting
you,
Korgak.
Steel. I will just warn you, just randomly trying to smite people is probably not the greatest idea.
I know. It's more of a how
Oh
can
my
you prove
fucking
your
god.
opinion?
He's like our caged battle Malk. Just muzzled and caged. We open
Pretty
the
much.
cage, we slowly remove the muzzle at the entrance of the dungeon, and we let him lead in.
Yep. So besides that, well, he gains a lot of stuff over the next 2 levels, including Lay on Hands, Divine Grace, Aura of Courage, Divine Health.
Yeah.
Eventually, he gains spells, Turn Undead. His smite will increase in effectiveness and eventually gets more per day. He gets a special mount at level 5.
Yeah.
But at the moment, yeah, he doesn't have too much.
I
He
mean,
has full
at the-
Bab, so +1 attack bonus, and Fort Save +2.
Yep. I
What about
mean,
his spells?
He doesn't get spells until level 4.
Ah,
Yeah.
bitch.
and I casted a massive lamb like a cleric of 3 less lower.
Yep.
So
Well,
it's shit as spells goes.
More or less, all he is there for is buffing himself and maybe a couple others a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I just need to get
He also
animal.
gets turned undead eventually.
Yeah. I mean, it can be useful at some point.
Also, I thought your cleric level was the level for your spells was effectively half your paladin level, and you turned undead at -3.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
That is correct.
just making sure that was right. Oh, and I haven't gone over it, but everyone has their own hit dies and shit like that.
What's a
Look.
hit die?
A hit die is how much you roll for every level to increase your hit points.
It's the HD next to your level.
so I just write in my piddly 4 in there.
Oh,
You put D4 actually.
I have a D12.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, you have the most of us.
So we get that plus our constitution bonus. And
For the first level, you just get the max roll.
yeah,
You don't roll.
but
You just
on level up.
Yep. On level up, I will give you the choice of either taking the average +1, except unless you're really low. In that case, like a wizard. I'm not. Actually, maybe I should allow a wizard to do an average +1 too.
I mean,
It would make them actually semi-decent.
It's up to you.
You know what? Yeah, I'll be fine with it. Wizards will still get the average +1 as well.
I think at
So they
that
could take
point
a 3.
I don't think I risk rolling at that point. I just take the 3 every time.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. But those with a higher hit die get hit worse with it. So, Barbarian gets +6 every time. +6 every time, but could risk a roll to double that. No, 7. It's 7 every time. That's not
Yeah,
bad at all.
pretty cool.
So
I mean,
Yeah, plus
Yeah,
the-
again,
That's what I'll allow. Average +1. Half +1, whatever you want to call it.
so
Every
the,
level up, you can do either roll it or do the half +1 for just a base
Yeah.
amount.
so the Constitution bonus applies on level ups as well, right?
Yes, that is correct.
And that applies retroactively if I up it to an 18 from the 17.
Correct. Which is why Constitution adding magic items are good.
Mm-hmm.
Do note that intelligence does not work retroactively on skill points, though.
Yeah, I remember that part. What about the extra languages for intelligence? If I up it,
That's
do I
only
get...
for character creation, level 1.
Okay,
Nowhere else.
and in terms of learning languages, I can spend a skill point per language? I think.
Pretty
Or
sure that's how it worked. Was it 1 or 2? I forget.
I have no...
But yes, you can spend skill points to learn languages and such.
I think those that aren't trained skills for my class I can raise at a cost of 2 per 1 and the max is lower, right?
Yep. The max is half of your regular. So you can keep, if it's cross-classing, you can keep something and you just keep putting into it. It's half of what you would have had as a class skill.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay then. Well, that
And there's
means...
some things that you cannot even do without any training at all, like knowledges. Can't just
or
randomly learn
magic
those.
item.
The
magic item.
knowledges, though, they are generally considered like the same fucking way, right? They need to... Like, for example, knowledge local. That I would have to raise as an out-of-class skill, right?
Nope, you cannot raise it at all. You can only raise it as a trained skill.
I mean, if I spend skill points on it.
Nope, you can't spend skill points on it. Not
So-
unless you have knowledge local.
So how would I get these?
You have to have them as a class skill.
Ah,
Or you take a feat that could possibly let you do it too.
okay, so it's unlocked through feats, essentially. And then they raise normally?
Then they would raise normally. There are feats that eventually open up that let you do that kind of thing.
Okay, good,
Uh,
good to know.
But at a base amount, you can only raise things cross-class if they are untrained. If you want to look at the page 64, it'll go through all of those. And it'll tell you on the right, is it untrained? Yes. That means you can raise it cross-class.
Okay, and the checkboxes are
Is it
to...
no?
The checkboxes next to these are then to note which ones are trained for me, which I have unlocked, etc. Crap like
That's
that.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I think the character sheet even tells you if it's untrained or not. Let me double check that real quick.
Yeah, there is an asterisk next to the ones that...
That require you
So
to
to make it easier on you so you don't need to always constantly check it, I think it does usually tell you if you can even use it untrained.
Okay, let's find the
Decipher script.
sorcerer.
Yep, there's a little asterisk. So you can just tell which ones you can't even try and raise. Like decipher script, disable device, handle animal. All the knowledges. Open log. Yep. Make sense?
Makes sense. So...
This is a complicated game, ain't it?
Yep.
So the professions and crafting stuff I don't add in here because I haven't picked any crafting or profession stuff yet.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, good. What else can we go through before? I think the backstory stuff we should possibly do last, I guess.
Works for me. We'll do that right after equipment, I suppose. or probably just kind of combine it with the equipment.
Do we
The
want to-
backstory stuff could, you know, if you want, could affect your equipment. More like your choices for equipment. Like you mentioned, possibly grabbing a scythe or something.
A sickle.
Not scythe. A sickle. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying it could affect their choices. That's all.
You know, this is gonna be slightly shorter video because we went over on the previous, but I think right now is the best place to take a break in the also.
Sure. It'll give Demi some time to get over here. Going over the spellcasters took a while. Going over the others, not so much.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck spellcasters.
Fucking excuse me?
Yeah, excuse me?
I mean,
It's so much
Bacon.
stuff.
Bacon. You gain so much shit as
Kalima.
a You gain so much shit as a barbarian. It's not even funny.
I wouldn't say that. I would really compare it to the paladin and monk. And compared to them, barbarian gets jack all.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna just end this video here and they can discuss among themselves how much they each suck.